Welcome back to Thronebreaker, The Witcher Tales. It goes on. A report. I've denied your request to return to Lyria. Admittedly, your argument that as a young ruler, okay. That if the needs arises, I should personally advise the king. At present moment, your lands are more useful your talents. What is this?
With the path to Ysgith hidden from view, Meve proceeded like one blind, moving solely by touch. With each step, she could not know if she would find rock or plunge beneath the black water's surface. The Queen's soldiers followed single file, carefully mirroring her every move. The Lyrians, near the end of their strength, got lucky when a light breeze dispersed the fog to reveal dry land. The Queen let out a sigh of relief.
At last.
Meve kicked off her boots to empty them of water and mud, then promptly screamed.
Ah!
Her legs were in leeches, slimy, bloated leeches. Ignoring the pain and trickling blood, she frantically tore them from her legs, wishing to be rid of them. Having plucked the last parasite from her calf, Meve grabbed her boot to crush the bloodsucker beneath her heel. Yet it had already slithered off. She spotted it on the trunk of a birch where, like a very fast snail, it was climbing.
What the devils?
But Meve's words caught in her throat. Leeches and ticks in the dozens dangled from the tree's branches. Some were so gorged on blood that their skin was translucent and on the point of bursting. Meve had some difficulty muting the urge to retch. The Queen stepped back, finding it hard to believe what hung before her eyes, confused as to what it all meant.
What in the world? Alright, a standard battle, but we are weakened. Because morale. Still, fight we must.
Army's a waste of time for one like me. Left, right, left,
Blood
right.
great is the foglet.
What do you want of me?
Not supposed to be any smoke.
All right.
Have it the white of an eye from half a league away.
All right. That's the first.
death is only the beginning!
Next.
Again and again and again.
Damn it all.
Coin never stinks, no matter how rank the pouch. One bolt's all I need.
Getting to work.
Make love, not war.
Give me a target.
Yeah, no way it can win. Alright, Foglet defeated. What's in this house? What's with these leeches? Hold on. Alright, more monsters. There's a puzzle over there. An Aracus by the looks of it. Or an Endriga Queen. One of those two. You can use that. Well. Eliminate all the foes. The damage all units.
Be ashamed to let this beauty go to waste.
Hey?
You can try to win them all, but you won't.
I only loot corpses, except sometimes they're quite fresh. take it anymore. Got any victuals? Hungry like a wolf, I am.
Thing about slings, they hide well.
I only loot corpses, except sometimes they're quite fresh.
Hey? Ever have a stone knock out one of your teeth?
Oh, be ashamed to let this beauty go to waste.
I've hit the white of an eye from half a league away. Bigger they are, easier they are to target.
I only loot corpses, except sometimes they're quite fresh. You can try to win them all, but you won't. Can't take it anymore. Got any victuals? Hungry like a wolf, I am.
Bigger they are, easier they are to target. Hey?
I only loot corpses, except sometimes they're quite fresh.
Ever have a stone knock out one of your teeth?
Can use this. Not sure if I want it yet, but...
You can try to win them all, but you won't. Can't take it anymore.
Wait, so maybe it's the slingers that to the row on their side.
Ever have a stone knock out one of your teeth?
One man's battlefield is another man's ripe patch for harvest.
I've hit the white of an eye from half a league away.
Oh, I'd be ashamed to let this beauty go to waste.
I've hit the white of an eye from half a league away.
One man's battlefield is another man's ripe patch for harvest. Oh, I'd be ashamed to let this beauty go to waste.
Can't take it anymore.
Oh, you little shit. I see now. No, really. I was struggling trying to understand. It's just the light infantry that I need.
Have it the white of an eye from half a league away. Thing about slings, they hide well.
If the ring won't come off, just take the whole finger.
Hey?
Got any victuals? Hungry like a wolf, I am.
All right.
Thing about slings, they hide well.
One man's battlefield is another man's ripe patch for harvest.
Right, I need to get the Lurians involved in all of this quickly. The light infantry, that is.
Thing about slings, they hide well.
I only loot corpses, except sometimes they're quite fresh.
Can't take it anymore.
Hey?
Can use this. Not sure for what just yet.
Got any victuals? Hungry like a wolf, I am.
Ever have a stone knock out one of your teeth?
You can try to win them all, but you won't.
Stop your yapping and start digging.
Alright. Just had to kill my own units, because I didn't know that the light infantry was gonna do damage when I killed them. What the hell is this? Shrine. Which I do not need. Also, apparently this isn't, Alright. There's treasure there that I need. A wonderful fucking swamp. Alright, just 3,000. Alright, immediate retreat advised. Choose a bronze ally in your hand or the battlefield, add 2 copies of it. Yeah, I'll play this. See, I do have a lot of cards, but a lot of those cards are... Yeah, we are rebuilding the bridge. And this is a puzzle battle. Eliminate the Grave Hag, use your leader ability. Wonder what leader ability this time. Damage and all other enemies with the same power by 4. Then trigger.
Lyria! One bolt's all I need.
Banish any number of units from your graveyard. Then damage all units on a row by the amount banished.
Give me a target. Arbalista, your command. Armor won't say. Lyria! One bolt's all I need.
All right.
Give me a target. Arbalist at your command. Armor won't save him. Lyria! One bolt's all I need.
All right.
Armor won't save him.
Hmm.
One bolt's all I need. Give me a target. Arbalist at your command. Armor won't save him. One bolt's all I need.
Oh wait, that actually applies to it as well. I didn't realize that it would destroy itself. Guess that works. Nilfgaard had such wonderful plans. Pity they didn't amount to anything.
The Lyrians marched in silence, too tired to keep in step with the drums. Suddenly, the wind rose to a howl, and there was a loud crash of thunder.
Blast!
Meve leapt from her saddle.
We camp here. Pitch the tents, quickly! Quickly!
As the soldiers rushed to unload the wagons, a wall of water came down, soaking them to the bone. Later, they sat in their leaky tents, huddled, teeth chattering, violent coughs rocking their frames. The storm raged the night through, then finally passed before dawn. Meve emerged from her tent to wring out her coat. Reynard approached, his gait heavy, his face grim.
Your Majesty, several men of the 11th, a dozen or so, sought to flee last night. Sentries stopped and bound them. Now they await your judgment.
Meve fastened her still wet coat. She knew well why the men had tried to desert. They longed for their kin, had lost sight of victory, perhaps even no longer believed. Yet the marching and fighting seemed destined to go on forever. The Queen sympathized. She too was spent, and many doubts plagued her. Yet she knew the deserters had to be punished. The question was, to what extent? Meve entered the tent where the prisoners stood. Some of the men looked away, ashamed at their deed. Others raised their gazes to meet hers, their eyes red, tearful, pleading.
You all know the penalty for desertion.
Meve said to the soldiers bound at wrist and foot.
I ought to have every last one of you hanged. Yet, we've come far along a treacherous road. Endured hardships extreme. This I considered against your crime. You shall lose rank and receive no pay for 1 year. Now get out of my sight. Immediately!
The deserters mumbled their gratitude and rushed out of the tent, fearing the Queen might yet change her mind. Meve then left for her quarters, anger and bitterness eating her up from the inside.
We're at the breaking point. Not quite sure I'm ready to go for the decimation approach yet.
Gods, have we passed the very threshold into hell?
Close ranks. None is to step off the path without clear orders to do so.
The fight just keeps going. On and on. Till there's enough.
Not supposed to be any smoke.
Have it the white of an eye from half a league away.
Alright, round one. Our water hag.
Quick and painful this'll be.
Doubt I'll ever pay off these school loans.
Give me a target.
Well, they are dangerous, I'm afraid.
We must trust each other.
Our ballista, your command.
Alright, the torrential rain has passed. Let's get out of here. What in the fuck? Wood. Right, I'm gonna go to the shrine. There's a reason I left it here. Alright, keep going. What a nightmare. Into the pits of hell. Coin's been depleted. More of them. How many? How many more must I fight? How many drowners, neckers, all that? I have no clue, right? Okay.
Again and again and again.
Taste the flail.
One bullet's all I need.
Doubt I'll ever pay off these school loans.
Well, that's a victory over there in the first round. Second round.
Wanna know why I got my scar?
I think I don't.
As you wish, milady.
As ordered.
Alright then. A few more monsters. No more. Pass. Bring the bear, well, all that he might have. Oof, that's a nasty fucking affair, really. Alright, Isabel.
Hey?
So much anger and suffering. For what?
Discipline shall bring us victory!
Final unit. Alright, Necrophage is destroyed. Gold and lumber aplenty. I need a map.
While accustomed to life mid swamp monsters and black magic, Angren's denizens never dared enter Ysgith. The Lyrians only once saw signs of a human presence there when they spotted a group of thatched roof huts amongst alders.
That settlement, is it inhabited?
Meve asked, turning to her scouts.
Impossible to say from this distance, Your Grace.
The Lyrians entered the village, swords in hand, prepared to fight. But not a soul nor a beast came forth. Some homes had collapsed from rot, while tall grass concealed the paths between them. Yet, someone had been there not long past, for fresh ghoul cadavers lay by the well. Meve knelt beside the corpse of one cut clear in half. The beast's killer had been exceptionally strong, and wielded a razor-sharp sword.
More are likely to come around.
Meve leapt to her feet. A man in thick leather armor had emerged from one of the huts. Transfixed by his cat eyes, the Queen nonetheless sensed he was rather badly hurt.
Were that true, my scouts would have blown their horns.
The man pulled out a pendant shaped like a bear's head. It hummed and twitched as if striving to free itself of its chain.
Far as monsters go,
he said, lips curling into an unpleasant smile.
Witchers aren't usually wrong.
A moment later, a scream pierced the air. Quickly, instinctively, Meve drew her sword and lunged forth.
The School of the Bear. Shortened battle, extra cards.
They approach! Seems you were right.
Left, right, left, right. Again and again and again.
I feel a strong magic here, my lady. Something controls these creatures.
My pain serves a purpose.
Doubt I'll ever pay off these school loans.
Our ballista, your command.
What do you want of me?
When will you ever learn?
And just when you thought things were about to get dull.
As you wish, milady.
That'd be the last of them. Should be quiet for a bit.
A witcher? How interesting.
The Lyrians emerged victorious, due in no small part to the Witcher.
Thanks for the help. Name's Ivo, Witcher, School of the Bear.
Meve, Queen of Lyria and Rivia.
Well, well. Didn't expect to see anyone out here. And certainly not a queen with an army in tow.
We're not here by choice.
I bet not. No one plans to pass through Ysgith.
And you? What's brought you here? A contract, perchance?
That's right. Hunting a monster.
I know your services to be rather dear. Who could afford a witcher's bounty in these wretched swamps?
Nilfgaardians.
Blast, of course. Preparing the land for settlement. Cull the monsters, drain the swamp, then bring in slaves. Doubtless from the north.
Maybe. I got paid in advance. I didn't see the need to ask any questions.
But did you have to take the coin? Don't you see what they're doing?
Forgive me, your majesty, but seems to me you're confusing witchers with knights-errant. We don't fight oppression, right wrongs, or avenge orphans. We slay monsters for coin. And it don't matter whose head's on the front or whose coffers it's from.
This beast you're out to slay, what is it?
Hang on. You mean to tell me you've led your force into Ysgith and don't even know what lives here?
I believe I was clear. We're not here by choice.
Yeah, but now that you are here, it'll take a minor miracle to get you out. Ysgith swamps, realm of a truly dangerous being. Elves call it Gernichora, the bloody mistress. Over generations, locals twisted the name until it became Gernichora.
Indeed. I've heard it.
So you've also probably seen her beloved fruit, leeches and ticks. You'd all be wise to stay away from them.
This Gernichora, what is she exactly?
Depends who you ask. Elves saw a fallen goddess in her. Never managed to cut her down while they lived here, but they did stem her growth, kept her from growing stronger. As for the local humans, spirit of a cursed princess, that's their take. Deep belief, actually.
Care to elaborate?
Stories that she was riding north to marry a Temerian duke. Whole retinue and caravan got lost, wagons got stuck, everybody drowned in the bog. Quicksand got him, that sort of thing. Gernichora grabbed a root before the quagmire swallowed her whole. Hollered for hours, but there wasn't a soul around to hear her. Leeches, hundreds covered her, settled in for a royal feast. Sucked her dry, drained her to pretty much the last drop. Fear and revulsion so completely overcame her spirit, she couldn't pass into the afterlife. So she came back, revived by Ysgith's magic.
Ugh. A chilling tale.
Yeah, except made up, probably. Don't believe the elven legends either. Gernichora's a monster, plain and simple. Extremely dangerous, sure, but just a monster.
The leeches and ticks, you called them her fruit.
It's kinda complicated.
We've time enough.
Gernichora's a little like a vampire. They're kindred creatures. Except, instead of feasting on the blood of others, she feeds them her own.
I'm not certain I understand.
They're parasites, right? She puts them on her body, feeds them her own blood, then hangs them on shrubs and trees.
Ugh, to what end?
To other monsters, they're delicacies. Sweet, juicy, full of Gernichora's blood. Irresistible. Any beast that tastes that loses its mind, turns into Gernichora's slave. So, if your paths cross and push comes to shove, she's not gonna be alone. Find yourself fighting the whole damn swamp.
How are we to fight her? How might she be killed?
Sorry, sharing secrets. Just not something we do.
Not even with those who saved your life just moments past?
We gotta wait till she starts feeding the parasites. She's weakest then. Stand a chance to hurt her.
Right. So we attack only once she puts the leeches to her skin?
Yeah. And when you kill her, if you kill her, any beasts under her spell will weaken considerably. And then, you gotta burn her corpse. I mean it, understand? Burn it.
And you? Will you not hunt her any longer?
No, I will. Just need to prepare. Realized that today. Gotta brew some potions, blade oils. Come back in a few days.
I don't even have that much time. Nilfgaard's hordes pursue us. I must march on.
In that case, wish you luck. Lots of it.
I suppose there's no argument that would persuade you to ride with us.
Your Grace, mutations strip us of emotion, not reason.
The Witcher vanished midst the trees. And Meve simply hoped her soldiers had not overheard any part of their conversation.
Right. Well, we need to deal with that monster, don't we? Gernichora. Still not done, mind you. Still some secrets to unlock, potentially. Alright. Was that worth it? Probably. Probably not. Alright, wood.
Caldwell had summoned Nilfgaardian support. Meve assumed they were not far behind. Yet in the unforgiving terrain, a full Nilfgaardian division could not hope to close the gap. Small detachments, however, light cavalry or footmen, could very well do just that. So when black-clad men emerged from the mist, the Queen was not surprised. She ordered her troops to fall in, form up, and brace to defend the line. Yet the attack never came. The invaders stood silent, motionless. And Meve got a closer look. They were slouched, ashen-faced, unsure of step, and covered in sores. Ysgith had treated them as cruelly as any. Teetering in his saddle, the commander broke formation. He rode forth and addressed the Queen in fluent common tongue.
Half my men are wounded, the others sick. Your force does not fare much better.
True. Yet we outnumber you soundly.
Indeed. If it comes to combat, you are certain to win. But in this damn swamp, all wounds fester. Flesh is quick to rot. You will lose many more apart from those who fall.
What do you mean, precisely?
Asked the Queen, her eyes narrowing, her head tilted to the side.
We should part ways in peace. There's a war on, there'll be another chance to fight. Perhaps even face one another. But not here. And not like this.
Suddenly unsure, the Queen weighed the officer's words. Their logic was sound, though they could also prove a ruse.
Your Grace.
Xavier's voice came from behind Meve's back.
We can't let them pass. They've done only harm, and they'll not stop and go home.
Ysgith.
Alas, I see things differently.
Meve said with a sly smile.
Crush you now, and I'll have fewer to fight down the line.
You seem sure of yourself, milady.
Let me show you why. At them!
Meve gave her mount a lash of her reins and charged headlong at the commander and his force.
I've lost enough companions over here. Here we fight on.
We will not surrender without a fight.
As good as dead, that lot.
Is that really necessary?
Armor won't save. order will triumph! It must triumph!
You must sweat like a swine in that jacket.
Ha!
Praise be to the great sun!
Tomorrow I'll drink with our forefathers!
Quiet, or the commissar will hear.
Ah!
We must trust each other.
Again and again and again.
Brach! Scheiß! In!
Try!
We'll catch them all! Ow!
Oh, Lady Margarita told us of this.
Off to the front yet again.
Thing about slings, they hide well.
They spoke the truth. You show no mercy. No mercy.
Amidst the fog and dense, gnarled forest, the battle ran its course. When the last sounds of fighting had died down, Meve was not sure who'd prevailed. Then soldiers came forth, fatigued and hurt, with smiles on their lips. She saw they were hers, and only then knew victory was hers as well, but this was no time to celebrate. She let everyone rest, then gave the order to resume the march. A great Nilfgaardian force pursued them. This most recent delay had allowed it to draw nearer.
I couldn't trust that they would just let me go. That's the thing.
I'm pleased to see you.
Duty calls.
Of course.
All right. Well, gold I have, lumber I miss.
What do you want of me?
Thing about slings, they hide well. Hey?
We'll catch them all!
Alright. Let them play their cards.
Doubt I'll ever pay off these school loans.
One boat's all I need. Give me a target. Our ballista, your command.
You must sweat like a swine in that jacket.
I'd hoped we could solve this some other way.
Again and again and again.
Alright, another group defeated. Some wood. Another letter. Huh. Harsh. Well, they all died, so it doesn't matter. Still need one treasure, though.
The Lyrian
Shit.
force had reached the very heart of Ysgith. From every branch, vine, and shrub hung leeches and ticks by the dozen. Swollen with blood, their abdomens glistened, glowing red in the misty air so putrid it set Maeve's head to spinning. She paused at a moss-covered boulder, pressed her flushed forehead against its cool surface. Her soldiers passed by, pallid, filthy, drained. She wished to say something, lift their spirits, but instead a cough rattled her breast. Suddenly, splashes all around Maeve in the water, as if a rain of fist-sized drops had begun to fall. The Queen lifted her heavy gaze. Seemingly on command, ticks and leeches dropped into the warm, soupy waters, then clumsily wriggled off toward a dead alder grove. Maeve knew at once what skulked behind the trees. Gernichora, Ysgith's mistress. Ysgith's queen.
Weapons at the ready!
The queen roared.
Close ranks!
The Lyrians quickly converged, formed a wall of shields, and crouched behind them. Terrified, they stared as a multitude of eyes flashed open midst the branches, while revolting, muck-covered beasts rose from the gurgling waters around. Niamh silently uttered a prayer. Hail, Melitele, great mother, maiden, and crone, ever have us in your care.
Time for a battle. Eliminate her. Me fought the compulsion to avert her eyes from muck-covered horror surrounding her unit. The very sight of them made her nauseous. Her chest tightened, holding back a scream. In the end, with great difficulty, she raised her sword. The queen only hoped her men would not notice the trembling in her hand. We fight. We've gone to hell and back, but we fight on. The Lyrian army is not yet defeated. Lyria has not yet fallen.
Everyone, rally to me!
Majesty! These parasites! They feed on our blood!
Bigger they are, easier they are to target.
I'm afraid this checkpoint is not gonna do me any. This trophy specifically is not gonna help me. I need to switch it. So.
The Lyrian fought suddenly.
Weapons at... Everyone, rally to me!
Drink with our forefathers! Majesty! These parasites! They feed on our blood!
My pain serves a purpose.
How quickly the scales tip.
As you wish, milady.
These ghastly beasts can be slain. They can be overcome.
Yeah, you can't kill the leeches because your cards get destroyed if you do so. That ain't gonna work.
Everyone, rally to me!
Majesty! These parasites, they feed on her blood!
Give me a target. Arbalist at your command.
How quickly the scales tip.
Bigger they are, easier they are to target.
These ghastly beasts can be slain. They can be overcome.
When will you ever learn?
Army's a waste of time for one like me.
Remember that unwarranted arrogance kills, slowly and insidiously.
Ah!
My scars? No, they don't hurt.
Tell me you jest.
Armor won't save them.
Lyria!
One bolt's all I need.
Left, right.
I think you'll really like this one.
Yeah, I need to kill her. It's not enough.
Everyone, rally to me!
Army's a waste of time for one like me.
Majesty! These parasites, they feed on her blood!
One bolt's all I need.
What? Oh, yes, I'm on it.
Give me a target.
Bigger they are, easier they are to target.
How quickly the scales tip.
Company! Forward march!
My scars? No, they don't hurt.
These ghastly beasts can be slain. They can be overcome.
Ah!
Wait, you're serious?
The chase is on! Ow!
Doubt I'll ever pay off these school loans.
You must sweat like a swine in that jacket.
Thing about slings, they hide well.
Quite a boss battle. Yeah, that might do it. Or not really, no.
Everyone, rally to me!
Again and again and again.
Majesty! These parasites, they feed on her blood!
Death is only the beginning!
Ah!
Thing about slings, they hide well.
How quickly the scales tip.
Ah!
And just when you thought things were about to get dull.
These ghastly beasts can be slain. They can be overcome.
One bolt's all I need. Give me a target.
Remember that unwarranted arrogance kills, slowly and insidiously.
As you wish, milady.
Her Majesty knows what she's doing.
My scars? No, they don't hurt.
Close, very close. Alright, just need a good sodding hand.
Everyone, rally to me!
Make love, not war.
Majesty! These parasites! They feed on her blood!
Army's a waste of time for one like me.
Ah!
Hey?
Our ballista, your command.
How quickly the scales tip.
As ordered.
Oh no!
And just when you thought things were about to get dull.
Oh, sorry, turnips back for an encore.
Left, right, left, right.
Alright.
These ghastly beasts can be...
Oh, Lady Margarita told us of this.
You must sweat like a swine in that jacket.
I'm a one servant.
The chase is on!
Lyria!
Ever have a stone knock out one of your teeth?
Remember that unwarranted arrogance kills, slowly and insidiously.
Ha!
Alright, so the Stray's cavalry can actually damage the bitch. That's the key there, isn't it?
Everyone, rally to me!
Left, right, left, right.
Majesty! These parasites! They feed on her blood!
Yeah, yeah!
Lyria!
Wanna know why I got my scar?
Ha!
One bolt's all I need.
How quickly the scales tip.
Have it the white of an eye from half a league away.
These ghastly beasts can be slain. They can be overcome.
My scars? No, they don't hurt.
Give me a target.
I believe it's dead.
Yeah, we won.
Of the battle in Ysgith, Meve remembered very little. It seemed a nightmare, its details a haze, the sensations very real. Midst a thick fog, she fought in a frenzy, desperately hacking at the scourge that advanced from all sides. In the end, silence fell over the swamp. Its boiling waters lay calmed. The ticks and leeches were gone, while Gernichora lay among rotting leaves, covered in blood, unmoving. But still a fearsome sight.
Burn the corpse,
Rasped the queen.
and we move on.
The soldier's eyes darted about in a series of silent glances. It took Meve a moment to realize the difficulty. They still feared it. Though the monster's lifeless body lay on the ground, they dared not go near. Were she to repeat the order, they would carry it out. Yet she did not wish to force that on them. Swallowing her own revulsion, she walked up to Gernichora's corpse and set it alight. The air soon filled with the suffocating stench of burning hair and flesh. Sparks belched out as melting fat fell on flame. Until finally, nothing was left of the bloody mistress but scorched bone. The Lyrians resumed their march towards the banks of the Yaruga. They forced their weary legs to maintain a swift pace, and stole no second glance at what they'd left behind.
That was a nightmare. Holy fucking shit. Well, Nilfgaard's probably gonna be delayed for a while. I hope.
One day, the quartermaster approached with news to report. Alas, bad news.
Your Grace, our food stocks have near run out. And about villages, folk have naught to spare, not even to trade.
The Queen dispatched small groups of scouts. They were to scour the countryside for hunting camps, beekeepers, charcoal burners, any souls willing to trade food for coin or goods. The first scouts came back around dusk. The last 3 detachments returned not at all. At first, Meve suspected they'd fallen prey to monsters, the beastly or Nilfgaardian kind. Later, she learned the men had left naught of their belongings behind. She'd been soft-hearted toward deserters. This lot decided they, too, would give it a try. That night, Meve lay still but sleepless. Beneath thin covers, she was cold, hungry, irate. Towering alders grow thick in Ysgith, their crowns weaving an expansive canopy that obscures the sky. Any sunbeams to slip through this twisted thicket scatter in the milky mist below. Thus the marsh abides in a state of perpetual twilight, wherein a sense of time and direction are easily lost. As the force moved along, a glow appeared in the trees. The Lyrians squinted, their mouths agape in wonder. An orb hung over the water, pulsating, humming. It circled the soldiers, darted off a distance, then hovered as if waiting.
A will-o'-the-wisp, that is,
whispered one of the footmen.
Believe it's keen to show us something.
Meve knew the wisp could prove treacherous, lead them into a trap. Nonetheless, she followed, though not entirely certain why. Her soldiers seemed eager, she sensed they approved. Yet she was also simply curious.
We follow it. Carefully. Weapons at the ready.
As the wisp led the Lyrians down a narrow, winding path, Meve surveyed her surroundings warily. Beads of sweat emerged upon her brow. But her fears, in the end, proved unfounded, for at the path's end, the troops found what appeared to be a caravan's remains. Its wagons, rot-eaten, half-buried in the bog, had sat there for decades, perhaps longer. Despite this, gilded panels and scraps of silver-threaded fabric showed they'd once been rather ornate. Inside the wagons, the soldiers discovered many steel crates. Rust-covered but intact, they contained truly dazzling treasures. Sacks bulging with gold coin, pearl-encrusted goblets, exotic velvets and silks in beads.
Blimey, the sheer amount. And here of all places,
a footman muttered under his breath. Meve quickly pieced it all together. She too had once ridden in such a caravan, splendid and laden with gold, when she'd left her home to marry. The rest of the story was not difficult to divine. This was a maiden's dowry. She and her retinue lost their way. Ysgith proved their grave, unbeknownst to any other.
Except the peasants in their story.
Circled Meve's party, blinked several times, then faded into thin air. The troops resumed their march, and all seemed in order. Seemed, for soon several footmen were discovered to be gone. Greed had been their ruin. They'd grabbed too much. The loot had weighed them down, and the marsh had embraced them.
Alright then. Okay. We fight then.
Left, right, left,
An Ericus
right.
behemoth. Spawn an Ericus hatchling. A bear. A fucking bear.
As you wish, milady.
Blood washes away all shame!
Maybe I should keep this bear. Nah. Oh, crap.
Oh, Lady Margarita told us of this.
Alright, I don't care what she told you about.
Coin never stinks, no matter how rank the pouch.
What do you want of me?
Ever have a storm knock out one of your teeth?
So much anger and suffering. For what?
Army's a waste of time for one like me.
Give me a target.
My pain serves a purpose.
You must sweat like a swine in that jacket. Tell me you jest.
Alright, I think it's safe enough to skip. Just in case they pull off some bloody miracle. Alright, victory. Daricus is dead. A bit of wood. All right. Soon there will be a battle at the bridge. Knickers is by and large a polite dog who heels, shakes paws, and on good days even sits when instructed to do so. Especially when his ears are given a good stretching beforehand. One day, however, Knickers strayed from their Lyrian retinue, lured by an appetizing scent. The wafting aroma led him to a cavern from which not a single light escaped, to enter or not. Soup and wine? Okay. Knickers. Oh. Okay. Oh, this is bad. Oh, so I need a wine last. Alright then. Alright, we start here.
Yeah. Ah! Ha! Ah! Yeah! Ha! Yeah! Ha! Huh! Ah! Ha! Ah! Ha! Huh! Ha! Huh! Yeah! Ha! Yeah! Ha! Huh! Yeah! Ah!
Alright, Christine here on Serious Gaming signing out. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video.